Do any of you like to perform music? Do you know how to read music or know any music theory? The knowledge required to pass the Florida All-State exam is also the knowledge required to be a great musician. Today I'll be going over the three parts of the All-State exam. The first part is the written exam. This part of the exam starts with the listening portion. Every section in the listening portion is played twice, so you have more than one chance to get the correct answer. First is chord quality recognitions, which is 5 questions. This is determining whether each chord is major, minor, diminished, or augmented. So basically, what type of chord is being played. The next 4 questions are on intervals, which is identifying the distance between notes. Then rhythmic recognition, which is 2 questions, is the rhythm being played correctly? Next is rhythmic and melodic, which is the last part of the listening portion and definitely the hardest. Each measure is its own question, and you only get 2 playings for it. You have to determine whether each measure's rhythm and note progression are played correctly. This is where people lose the most points, typically, on the written exam. The rest of the exam tests your knowledge of music theory. For this part, you have as much time as you need to complete the exam. Complete the measures is 2 questions, which is where you choose the note or rest that completes the measure. Then time signature recognition, which is another 2 questions, also has you fill in what time signature would complete the measure. Then 8 questions is key signature recognition, identification of which key each question is in treble clef and bass clef. Then vocabulary is the last 18 questions of the written portion of the exam. For this, you have to understand the meaning of key terms and symbols commonly used in music. There's usually a study guide out there for each year for the exam. Like a cappella means without accompaniment, al fine means the end, and crescendo means to gradually get louder or increase volume. If you do not review each part of the written exam before taking it, you probably will not get a passing grade on the exam. Part 2 of the audition process is the sight reading exam. This part tests your ability to sing music based on what's on the page rather than what you hear. To qualify for the third part of the exam, you need an 80% on the written portion and 20 out of 40 measures sung correctly on the sight reading portion, just to qualify. But these scores aren't good enough to get you into mixed choir usually. These are things we need to practice in order to pass this part of the exam. The ability to sight read melody lines, a good understanding of rhythms, fast music reading capabilities, and sight reading experience. This is how each test is formatted and how the audition process works. There are 5 levels to the high school exam. They each get progressively harder. Each section, which is a set of 8 measures, has a different amount of study time. Study time is the time you get to figure out the rhythms and melodies of each set of measures. You get 10 seconds for the first level, 20 for levels 2, 3, and 4, and 30 seconds for level 5. And for that level, you'll definitely need it. During the exam, the pianist plays a scale for you, which is every note in the key played ascending, then descending. They also give you an arpeggio too. You get to practice sight reading an excerpt that is not counted for the audition beforehand, that is all played on one note and has varying simplistic rhythms. When you are ready, you start your study time and are only allowed to look at the level you are currently on. When they play the scale for you again, they count you in and you start singing. When you eventually finish the audition, what you sang right out of the 40 measures are compared to give you your score. The most important part of the audition is to relax and not feel pressured by the audition. If you sing a wrong note or rhythm, keep going, and you'll sing more measures correctly. Getting a good score on this portion is very important. Even though the written exam is easier to get a higher score on, it takes 2 questions to equal 1 measure of sight reading. This section is the most important section, as well as the most difficult. The third part of the exam is held on a different day than the first two parts. If you get a high enough score to qualify for the third part of the audition, you'll be handed 7 pieces of music to learn in a month. These are things you need to pass the audition. Good vocal quality, which is the quality of your voice. Good pitch accuracy and intonation, which is the accuracy of your notes and how precisely you hit those notes. Practicing the audition pieces prior to the audition. A good vocal range, being able to sing all the notes in every song according to what part you sing, and the ability to sing with other parts while being alone on your own part. This concludes the audition process. Make sure to practice, and I hope you all have learned something from reviewing the All-State exam material. Remember, the important part is not just the end goal, it's the journey. Thank you.